Hi, I'm Vanessa Contab. I am a podcast contributor for Cafe Mom, and I'm mom of two boys, Christian, 6 years old, and Sebastian, 2 years old, and I live in Brooklyn, New York. So at Cafe Mom, we're celebrating Black History Month. And, for me, with my boys, we read a lot of books, and every single day we honor, celebrate, learn about a different popular figure in Black history. Sometimes not as well known, sometimes very well known, but it's important for me to teach them about Black excellence and where they come from. So growing up for me was really interesting. I am a first generation born in the US. My parents are from Haiti. And so, it was a really fun and lively household. It was me and my brother, and of course my parents. And so, for us, we love to entertain. My parents love food and having friends over. So it was always just every single weekend was like a party. The really interesting part about growing up with my parents was we ate a ton of really traditional Haitian food. That was sort of like our everyday meal. But at the same time, they were so adventurous about all the different kinds of food that we were experiencing living in the US. We also traveled and lived abroad a lot because my dad was in the Army. So I have such a gigantic array of foods that I was exposed to at a very young age. I can remember being 4 and 5 years old and eating, escargot or eating bratwurst and, all kinds of things. But Haitian food was like the staple, definitely what we ate about 4 or 5 times a week. But my dad was the most adventurous, even more than my mom. And, he would just bring things home and play around with ingredients. I can remember that we always enjoyed this shrimp dish that he made. It's a really easy dish, but it was like his signature, and everybody asked for it when they came over. I asked for it every time I came home from college. I still ask for it. He finally taught me how to make it. So I can make it, but I promise there's something about the way he makes it that's just still better than me, and it drives me nuts because I don't know what he's doing. I feel like he taught me, but he's like leaving out an ingredient or something. But yeah, that's probably one of my favorite dishes to make. And it's like a peel and eat situation. So you get all kind of messy and everybody's sitting around the table and your hands are all messy and you can't be on your phone. And it's just, it's a great way for us to just like sit around. It has all this nostalgia. And definitely something that I make for my boys, and it's so fun because they enjoy it too. So it just kind of feels like, we're passing down, recipes, and I look at them and I see myself when I was their age. So yeah, it's been really great. The really great thing about moving to New York is it's the first place that I've ever felt like was really home. So, I'm a kid whose parents are from Haiti, and I have like all of that in me. And then I moved around a lot when I was a little kid. So when I got to New York, it was really the first place that felt like home, and specifically Brooklyn. So if everybody leaves and moves away, I'll be the last person still living in Brooklyn, I swear. I love it here. I love raising my kids here. And I just, I like to keep it Brooklyn. So, they got their little style, and they wear their little, retro Jordan sneakers, and, it's really fun. It's a great neighborhood. It has, we live in a place where it just has such a great sense of community. It's just wonderful to feel like I get all the benefits of living in a city and all the really cool things about having friends that live, walking distance and going to the park and all of that stuff. So to me, there's no better place in the world to raise your kids than Brooklyn, New York. And, it's also home to tons of Haitians. So there's a lot of Haitians who immigrated here, which means literally 2 blocks away, there's a Haitian restaurant. And when I don't feel like cooking, I can just walk there and I get the same food that I remember eating as a kid. 2 blocks from there is another Haitian cafe where I can get patties and coffee. So it's just, it's such a great place for me and to raise my kid. And I feel like I know more Haitians living in Brooklyn here now I'm friends with than I ever had growing up all over the world. So it's great. It's a great place. So, it's so funny. I have 2 boys. I get a lot of feedback from people that's like, how did you make the same baby twice? They look exactly like each other and all that sort of stuff. And that's true. They definitely look like twins born 4 years apart. However, their personalities could not be any different. So the baby is, he's 2, he's really feisty and just like bossy and sometimes just like, I don't even know. He's just all over the place. But Christian is like the biggest, sweetest, most caring, thoughtful, empathetic, funny, kid. And he's really smart. He's always asking me all these questions. We just took a road trip to visit grandparents, and it was just classic. I'm driving and the kids are in the car. And I mean, within 5 minutes, it's like, Mommy, where's China? What's the tallest building in the world? What's the smallest island in the world? Tell me about a time when you were heartbroken. I'm like, what is this kid talking about? But he's so sweet and he loves his little brother so much. And it's just great. Sometimes he surprises me in just amazing ways. Being a solo mom is tough. And one of the hardest things is literally just finding time to take a shower. So recently I was like, please just keep an eye on your brother. I have to go take a shower, please. And he's like, okay, Mommy. And I step out of the shower and there he is just sitting there holding his brother in his lap. The baby is fast asleep and he's just looking at his iPad. And it's just, I don't know, those kinds of things, literally I'm gonna tear up now. But he's the sweetest and the baby, even though he's 2, he just, he looks for him and I don't know, it's just so great. Sebastian's just a different kind of personality. I think he's like, obviously I'm raising them to be like great guys, and there'll be, some lucky women will be out there one day and I'll be like, you're welcome. But we'll see. But I do hope that what he does learn from his big brother is just this, being empathetic, caring about social justice kinds of things. We did a lot of Black Lives Matter like marches, and we made posters, and we talked about what it means to be an upstander. He's 6, he likes to watch the news. He was very interested in the election. He knows too much about politics. And I'm always like, this is not for a kid. And he's like, but I'm really interested in it, Mommy. He asks a lot of questions and I try to answer them in a way that is like appropriate for a 6-year-old. And so, for me, I just hope that that stays with him, that feeling of social justice, of wanting to like stand up for other people who maybe can't stand up for themselves, and caring about his community. I just want to see that continue to grow. And for sure, I would love for his baby brother to see what he does and then also kind of want to follow in his footsteps in that same way. Before I was a mom to Christian and Sebastian, I was a stepmom to Ashton, who is now 13. And I remember thinking how cool it was that he was really born in the era of Obama. And so he never thought there was anything strange or interesting or progressive about, having someone who looks like him in the highest office in the land. And Christian is in a completely different situation. Sebastian's in a different situation. But I really hope that what they see moving forward is how, like, when people get together and, we can do a lot of really good stuff. I think what he absorbed over the last 4 years, as a really little kid, was just a ton of negativity. So I would love for, and I'm optimistic for him to see, like, what great things can happen. They're talking about putting Harriet Tubman on the $20 bill. Like, these are the kinds of things that I think will resonate with children. I think it'll be great for him to see how anything from community organizing all the way up to, our president and our vice president can make change that, is positive.